Morning, everybody. Think I'm live. Okay, yeah, now it says I'm live. So I'm gonna wait here for a little bit, see who pops in, see who joins me this morning. My craziness is pretty much died down for the morning. Joy caught a big bird when I was out on the patio having coffee. Speaking of, this morning I am enjoying Java Mama, not the Mama's coffee. And it's definitely not the Mama's coffee. It's pretty strong. And that's okay, because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night. Hazzy's insulin schedule has skewed, and so he's due for his insulin at 4 a.m., which makes for a really bizarre sleep schedule for me. Well, hello, Bling. Pretty girl. Want to say hi? All right, so I'm wearing one of my Halloween shirts. There's not a whole lot that I like about fall, you guys. The colors aren't my favorite, and getting cold is not my favorite. I love Hocus Pocus, though. I love that I can watch Hocus Pocus every night on Disney Channel, or it's Disney Plus now. And I saw somebody pop on, so say hello when you get here so I know who is watching. But back to my Halloween shirt. I have two. This is the first one. I will show you. And of course, it's got a kitty on it. And it's also got cat hair on it because they all, I'm wearing black. They gotta come hang out. All right, so this morning, we're going to be working with Magic in This Night, which is a product suite by Stampin' Up! And we worked with it a little bit last week as well. And I am going to turn the camera down. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. So I'm going to mask the camera so you guys don't have to stand on your heads for a moment. And I'm going to see if this is going to work. So here we go. So it's gonna go black, don't worry. I'm still here. I'm just trying to get everything all turned around without you guys having to go through all that carnival ride. Aha, there we go, woohoo. All right, so what we're looking at right here is the DSP, the Designer Series paper for the Magic in the Night Suite. And this paper is so cool. I love it. Love, love, love. So it's double-sided, of course. And this is on sale too. If you guys haven't checked out the DSP sale, this paper is on sale for $9.78 for the whole pack. And so what we have are little bats, some gorgeous black and white flowers, some spiderweb mandalas, and this is in a couple different colors. We'll get to the other one in a minute. Roses. There's the other spider web. Little bats, and these little bats match the dies. You can die cut these off of the paper, which is so cool. And we have a black and white stripe, some curry with the roses and spider webs. This teal, this is what we used last week. And then we have our Blackberry Bliss spiders. And we're going to be using some of this week. So let me set this aside. Here are the stamps and dies. You remember me telling you last week I don't have the cover for mine anymore because it got wet. We're also going to be using Tasteful Touches because I love this sentiment right here, that just saying hello. Oh, and let me start my computer in the background so that I can talk to you guys and know who is in here. I'm still here. All right. Okay, it says somebody's here, but I can't see who. And nobody said anything last week. Remember, I did not get my comments, and I had another live that same thing happened to. So I don't know. Facebook has chosen me to be one of the unlucky ones this time. I'm going to show you these dies, and here is the little. This is the bat that fits the decorative paper. Let's pull that one back out here for just a second. So if you wanted to die cut this out, see how perfectly that fits? And you could just punch those little bats out and use them in your project. And we also have spider and another little bat trio, and these will all cut out individually. There is an edge cut here, and here are the frames that we used last week, and then there's also a flower. And I searched through the decorative paper. I did not find an exact match for that, but it looks really cool if you were just to put it over one of the flowers randomly and cut it out. It would still look really awesome. Here are some cards that I have made with the little spiderweb paper, and this Harlequin is what's on the back of it. Now I'm showing these to you for a reason. These are not the cards that we're going to make. What we're going to be working with is the scraps that are left over from my previous projecting, because I want to show you that you do not have to start fresh with brand new paper. I have a pile of, get it on camera here. I have a pile of scraps, and this is what we're going to work with today, and we're going to make beautiful cards. So let's just put that aside. I have some card backs already cut, and we're just going to play with the scraps and create a brand new set of cards, because doing that is fun. Hey Debbie, welcome. We're getting crafty this morning. Let's scoot this over a little bit. There, I think that's better centered. All right, so you can see I've used these before. They are actual scrappy pieces. So I'm just gonna start laying them out and taking a look at what we have here. Oops. Like that. That looks like a good sentiment bar. Oh, and I want to use these little chips. So I've got these little chips here that were cut off ends of other things. And I got to remember there's Harlequins on the back of these too, so maybe we'll use some of those. Let's find some that match a little bit better though. There's my crazy cat. You can hear him in the background now. Right. That's another long strip. Oh, here's some more chips too. All right, those are, we'll use those as well. I'm not sure I'm loving all that black. That could be cool though. I might even want to cut another chip and put that in the center. That would tie that gray back in. Okay, let's do that. And that needs something else behind it. Do it want to do. That's not going to work. Ooh, I have an idea for that one. We could stamp that in white. All right. So, as you can see, I still have a lot more scraps left. I can do a lot more cards, but I think I'm happy with what we have laid out here this morning. So we're just gonna go with these and we're gonna make these awesome. Get that out of the way. It's not too far away in case we need to add or change anything. Let's start with, I'm excited about that one because I know I want to stamp it in white. All right, so I'm just going to pile up the rest of these now that I've kind of got an idea what I'm doing here. Just goes under there. All right, so we're going to, sorry, this is my chair scooting back so that I can stand up a little bit to do this. The other things that I also brought out here to play with are some white pearls. I love these white pearls. They are so pretty. Just add a real nice touch of elegance to just about anything that you want to do with them. So we'll leave those out there for inspiration. And this white lace. And this is the scalloped lace trim. And I will do up a project list, an ingredients list, so that you guys can go through your stuff and see what you have if you wanted to make cards just like these. I remember the paper is on sale right now. We want to stamp on that. Do we want it going sideways or this way? I think sideways will let the sentiment pop the most. All right, and we're going to use our Whisper White. Remember, this is a pigment ink, and so it's going to take a little bit of time to dry anyway, so it's good that we're doing this one first. Got good coverage there. Oh, I like that, and it's just kind of ghosted, which is great for the season. All right, spraying down my scrub pad over here. We can clean that block and that stamp off. All right, I'm going to set that one aside for just a minute because I do want that white ink to dry before we start doing anything with it. And let's just grab our next card. So Debbie, what kind of Halloween or fall crafting have you been doing lately? All right, take a drink of my coffee. Cheers and good morning. Oh, and the colors that I'm working with here, the scrappy cardstock that you see, is Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss. This is the Rich Razzleberry, and the gray is Gray Granite. And the ink pads that I brought over so that we can decide what we want to use all coordinate with that, except basic gray instead of Gray Granite. That gives us a little darker gray to play with. All right, so I think we want to make a a frame out of the Blackberry cardstock. So let's put these two together. We're gonna do that with stamp and seal so that it stays stuck where we want it. Oh. Put this here just so we can measure against it. Okay, now let's trim off that end to, remember the cards are 5.5 inches wide, so we'll trim that to 5.5. And that gives us a little more reveal on each end than I think we want, so let's take that down just a bit. Remember, you can always cut more off, but if you go too short the first time, you're in trouble. Welcome, Karen. Good morning. How are you doing? We're just talking about what kinds of projects we're doing for fall and Halloween. Do you have anything that you're working on? All right, we're not going to glue this down quite yet because I think I want to wrap some of the ribbon around that one. So let's go ahead and do that while it's off of here. We're just going to wrap that around and tie a bow. And this scalloped lace trim can be a little slippery to work with, so just be patient with it. Go slow, and then you can tighten it up later. And I'm also going to show you another trick for if it's still a little bit loose on the front, looser than you want. We can go back in and tighten that up on the back, and nobody will ever know. All right, so what I'm going to do with this one is just pull this over a little bit. That's going to create some tension, and it's going to tighten that up really nicely. And I'm just going to do that with my stamp and seal. A little bit there, and then we're just going to stretch this over so that it sticks to it. There we go. All right, set that aside for just a minute. And let's go to our sentiment here. The black, we're also going to want to stamp that in the Whisper White. So I was thinking about a Happy Halloween sentiment on this one. What do you think? So here's our Happy Halloween. Black on white, white on black. I think that'll look good there. Let's do that one because we'll have to set it aside again too. Perfect. And after this dries, I think we'll cut that down just a little bit. It is a little bit wide for a sentiment bar, so we will just set all of this aside for a moment. Oop. Pull that back up so that it sticks. Okay. And on to basing out our third card. All right. right, so I'm using the, you notice I did not use any of the Blackberry Bliss or the black for our card base. That doesn't mean you couldn't. If that's what you have and that's what you want to use, that's great. Those are both dark enough that, okay, you could write in them with a white gel pen or a silver gel pen. The other thing that you could do is to cut a little insert panel and put in the inside in white, and that way you have something that you can write on inside. But this is as dark as I wanted to go for the card base. Okay, so this one could be kind of interesting. I really like those two like this, but I think that I want to trim off these points and keep everything contained within our gray. And I don't think I have a pencil here, so give me just a second and I will be back so that we can make some guidelines. Because we're just going to trim this up some. All right, so I'm just going to mark here a tiny little bit on our black so that we know where we're trimming. And it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay, because these are handcrafted cards. It doesn't mean that, you know, you aim for jankiness, but if there's a little bit of variation and they're not perfect, it's all right. All right, and then we're just going to line up our pencil marks here, and I'm going to give it about maybe 1/8 of an inch, and we're just going to trim that off. And same thing on the rest of the corners. All right, now we have this awesome octagon. It's a little lopsided, and I think I'm okay with that. We will just make it work for us, and by the time we're done, nobody's gonna know. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and stick this down. I just refilled my Stampin' Seal, so it's challenging me this morning. Seriously, if you don't behave, I'm going to go to glue dots. That usually makes it work. All right. So then we're going to do a cute little thing with these little scrappy chips. Stuff that under there. Hey Denise, good morning. How are you? How are things in your part of the world? All right, so now we're going to cut this down. Let's go ahead and cut it square to begin with. Actually, let's go ahead and take that down to 1 inch first. Now we'll cut it square. And remember, today we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants, and we're gonna make something awesome. And I think when we get to the point of tacking all of this down, we're going to pop that up with some dimensionals. It's gonna be super cute. All right, I am gonna use some glue dots on this though, because the Stampin' Seal is gonna be a little harder to get in there with. All right, so we're not going to push that one down yet because we want this one. Well, actually, we can put this one over the top. Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead, press it down. So Denise, today we are working with our scraps because you don't always have to start off a fun project with brand new supplies. Sometimes, a lot of the times, you end up with all of these amazing scrappy pieces. And so we started off our session with a pile of scraps in matching colors and just started putting cards together. So we actually have 4 of them laid out that we're going to play with today. And this is a great way to use up your supplies. My husband and I both make cards, and so we end up with a big scrap pile really fast. All right, so we're going to tuck this one under that edge. And then we're going to pop this up with some dimensional dots. And I think we can just use one big one right in the middle, and that will be just fine. Yep. Okay, I like the perspective on that. And see, it's not hardly noticeable. That is not perfectly straight, and we're still going to add a little something there. So we're not gonna have to worry about it. We're gonna use this strip of black to kind of anchor this so it's not just floating unattached. So let's go ahead and we'll cut this at 5.5. And then let's, me and my Stampin' Seal are really going to have words later. It behaves so well when I'm not on camera. Okay, so I think we're going to stamp our sentiment directly onto this card front. And what do you think? Magic in this night? Trick or treat? Let's use a trick or treat on this one over here because we have this narrow sentiment bar. That would be a good one for that. So magic in this night or open if you dare. I'll let you guys make a decision there. Let me know which one to put on the stamp block. And while you guys are thinking about that and waiting for somebody to make a decision, and I don't care who it is, just somebody tell me what to do, we're going to go ahead and tack this one down too. Ooh, you know what though? We don't have this down yet. Let's make some little spiders peeking out from behind here. That would be really fun. This is the only time of year that I like spiders, you guys. The rest of the year, it's like, no. I am not a fan. All right. And let's stamp our little spiders in some Blackberry Bliss. And we're just going to put them randomly up here so that they can peek out. Some of them might even get covered up. I don't know. I'm just randomly placing spiders. Maybe even one on here. It won't show up, but if you hold the card just right, you can see that. And while we have that here, let's put a couple on the inside too. I love decorating the insides of cards. So I always put a little something something on the inside and on the corner of the envelope as well, because those are just fun little touches for the recipient of your cards. All right, nobody has spoke up about what our sentiment is, so I'm going to make a decision. And I don't know what it's going to be yet, but... Oh, that's cute, because it looks like the spiders are just like all over underneath it. Well, since we have spiders, let's go with Open If You Dare, huh? Because there's more spiders. And let's do that one. Let's do that one in white too. We're just going to stay with the theme with our sentiments and white. That'll help tie the card collection together. There we go. All right, so we'll set that one aside and we'll do some embellishments on that here in a little bit. We have one more that we haven't started anything on, so let's go ahead and take a look at that one. And this is the one with all of those little, these were in pieces for some other things that I did. We're going to do the trick or treat on that one because it's just the right size. So let's go ahead. Stamp that with our white so it can be drying. So remember, if you make a mistake or you don't like how something looks, you've got another side to your paper. And I'm not really happy with that T, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to clean that stamp a tiny bit and re-ink. There, I like that one better. All right, so our sentiment bar doesn't have to go all the way across, and let's not make that decision right now because it's wet. I need to leave that alone for a bit. And let's play with these chips. All right, do we have enough room to make space in between them? I'm thinking probably not. Oh, but I kind of like them staggered like that. What do you guys think? Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay. And let's put the middle one down first. All right, I'm going to use the lines here on my grid pad to help me line that up. And we're going to pull it up just a little bit off center so that the other ones, the next ones, can go down like so. And it looks like I got it a little bit off kilter, but that's okay. We're going to fix it in a minute. All right. So what we're going to do is just cut this off straight. Remember that there's nothing that you can do that you cannot come back from. There's always a way to fix things, and nobody but you is going to know. Well, nobody but me and you guys. But I have never had anybody take a look at, you know, put a card under the microscope when they receive it because they're so excited to get something from you. And they're just happy to see you in their mailbox. All right, so I think we'll do like that. And maybe we'll even do a little flag here on the end. So to do a flag, you just want to kind of find your halfway point and you're going to cut up into it. And then from either corner, you cut up there and just meet that little slice. And that way you get a nice, even flag. Here. Now, if you wanted it to exactly match on the other side, which it's not that crucial, but if you wanted to do that, then lay it down on another piece of, let me just grab it for you. So we're going to make some more scraps here, and that's all good. I think that one is a 1/2 inch. But I want to show you how to make a template, just in case you need to do that. All right, so here's another scrap. It's not quite the same width, but it's close. All right, so if you wanted to make sure that the other end of the blackberry matched this exactly, you'll put that on there and then cut one out of the gray. All right, now you flip this over and you can use this one that you just made as a template for the other side of the blackberry. And let's cut that one off about like so. And then using our template, And when you're using the template, then you don't have to make that first cut in the center. There. Trick or treat. Let's pop that up with some dimensionals. And we'll use the minis on these since the big ones I think will show. All right, so there's our janky one. That's going to be our back. And I don't know if you guys aren't saying much this morning or if I have lost my comments again. If I've lost my comments, I'm very sorry, and I will catch up as soon as we are done. Actually, you know what? I just noticed. All right, so this is actually the back of our card, because when we score, we always want to score so that we can open that easily. So the side that's a little bit longer is going to be your front. Yeah, we're just going to... Actually, I think I kind of want to pop that one up with dimensionals too. Let's do that. And then, ooh, let's die cut a spider and put underneath there. Okay. Hey, you guys, behave. We got some fussing going on in the kitchen between somebody and somebody else. I can't see who it is from here. They're just like kids, you know, as soon as mom gets on the phone or as soon as mom is doing something that she can't get away from, that's when they're bad. All right. So let me grab a little scrap of black out of our pile. And our spider die cut. All right, you know what? I think while I'm over there, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut some little bats because we'll probably want some little bats on something. And I can get them both out of this little scrappy piece. So I will be off camera for just a moment because my die cutter is just on the other side of my workspace. Sorry, I know things shake when I'm doing this, and I apologize for that. All right, I got little bats falling out all over the place here. Bats and a spider. And I lost a little bat. It's probably on the floor and I did not see it fall. All right, well, it looks like we have two little bats to work with this morning, and we will make those work. That's okay. Or did it get stuck in the die? Nope. We will set our little bats aside. And we can have our spider coming out from underneath things. All right, so we're just going to put a glue dot on here. Okay, now I know who it is over there that's fussing. That's Bling. She sounds like a little cougar over there in the corner, which means that Yoda is probably antagonizing her, so I will go take care of that in just a moment. Be right back. All right, that's enough. That's good. Leave your sister alone, and you need to go somewhere else too. Okay. No, it wasn't Yoda. It was Rosie. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think I'm not getting my comments. I'm so sorry for that. All right, we're gonna set that one aside for a minute. And then let's go back to the ones that we started at the beginning when we were doing the white ink. And it's time to start sticking these down too. Don't want to smush that bow too much. We'll just use the edge of our grid pad. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead, like we talked about, and trim that down a little bit so that we have the same amount of space on both sides. And I'm also going to cut this to about here. All right, that looks like it's pretty good there. And then we'll pop that up with some dimensionals. Always remember to get, if you've got any kind of a span at all, you want to put one in the middle there to give it a little bit of support so it's not a saggy bridge. Okay, and our last one, and then we get to start working on, some embellishments. I love doing embellishments, you guys. It's like my favorite part. Okay, so let's see what we're doing with this. I think I kind of like this offset a little bit. That adds some visual interest there. So let's do that on that one. And this one, yeah, that one's going to need to be centered. So. Alright, so those really were scraps. I was thinking, oh, that'd be fun to work with those tiny little pieces, but we don't need those. Do we want to tie some ribbon around that one? No, I've got another idea for that one. let's pop that up though. I think that would be really cute. And I'm about out of this package of dimensionals, so we're going to switch over to minis. Put the big one in the middle. Mini minis. Good. Okay, now we can start embellishing and making them prettier. So here's what we have. We have some little bats here we could use. Those might be really cute right there in the middle of that. So yeah, all of that is just drawing more focus away from where we know it's a little bit uneven. And that we're going to use glue dots. Glue dots, glue dots, glue dots. Maybe not. The glue dots are, well, no, I can get them on there. They're just about the same size as the little bat bodies. There we go. Right. And we're going to let it hang over the edge of that one. Same with this one. Okay, so I think that one needs some pearls, like maybe in the bat bodies. And then let's do a big one. I like to do everything in odd numbers. Let's do one right there to emphasize our open if you dare. Now, if you wanted to, we could do a little bow right here so that we have the bow being consistent throughout the set, or you can leave it here. So that would depend on you. I am going to add a bow because I love bows. And I really, really love this lace ribbon. And I've kind of wanted to just use it everywhere here lately. So everybody that I'm sending Halloween cards to is getting pretty bows. All right. That's going to have to be glued down. And I do not have my glue over here with me. So this is what this one will look like when it's finished. So set that aside for now. I'm going to need 3 more bows. So let me tie those real quick here. And again, I'm so sorry that I'm not getting my comments. I will come back through and talk to everybody as soon as the live is done. It's so weird that Facebook started doing that to me about a week ago. I know that they change and they upgrade, and some people it's the luck of the draw as to whose Facebook stops working. All right, so let's put some little pearls here. I love doing like the little shoe button row of pearls. So let's do that on this one. There we go. So once I get my bow glue down, that one's finished. I'll bring the other one back here so that they can all hang out together. We're very, very close. And I think we need a bow on this one too. Because we can't have 3 with bows and 1 without. That would just look funny. Even though they're not all going to the same person, I would know that they're part of the same collection, and I want them to all kind of have a flow to them. It's my little Halloween theme. My husband's been working in the curry and the peacock color, because he loves oranges and greens. But I did not see any of his finished projects over there because I was going to sneak them over here to show you guys as well this morning, and I didn't see them. So I don't know where he put them. All right. Let's put a bow there. And then on this for our pearls, I'm thinking maybe let's do little ones on the end of the sentiment bar. I really like doing this because it looks like rivets. Okay, and maybe a big one on this spider body. What do you think? Yeah. Right. This one, let's go ahead and use so this is a medium sized, and then we're going to use 2 little ones on either side of it. And there we go. There is our set of cards for Halloween using nothing but scraps from other projects. And nobody would ever know because they look amazing. All right, you guys, I will see you next week, and I will get a project list up so that you know everything that I used here today. And I will see you next Sunday. Thanks for joining me for Cards and Coffee and my crazy kitties. Sorry, now you have to see me upside down because I didn't grab my little piece of black paper. And my phone won't let go of the live. Okay, here we go.